everyone. In this video, we're going to go through how to use the Tourism Regional Economic Impact Model, or TREIM, which you will need to use to apply to the Ontario Arts Operating Fund. The Tourism Regional Economic Impact Model is a free online tool that estimates the economic impact of tourism. Although tourism is in the name, for the purposes of the Ontario Arts Operating Fund, we're more interested in having organizations use it to calculate the economic impact of their operational spending within the arts and tourism sector. The model was created by our ministry, which is now the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Gaming, in the 1980s, and it moved online in 2005. The Ontario Arts Council has decided to use TREIM in the Ontario Arts Operating Fund application for a few reasons. First, Ontario's arts sector has a major economic impact, and this is something that we want stakeholders who care about economic impact to know about. By using a model they already know and trust, we can communicate impact in ways that are meaningful for their goals as well. As a government agency, OAC's budget is publicly funded by taxpayers. Reporting through TREIM is a way of staying accountable to our source of investment. And finally, TREIM provides us with data we can track and report on economic performance measures and indicators. Outside of the Ontario Arts Operating Fund application, organizations can use TREIM to leverage your data in many useful ways. For example, you can use your TREIM report to identify the revenue your organization contributes at the municipal, provincial, and even federal level. You can demonstrate economic impact through job creation, spending, growth, and tourism that fuels the local and provincial economy. Generate localized data by running the report based on your census area instead of Ontario as a whole. This helps show how you're contributing to your municipality or region. Provide compelling evidence for impact statements to show supporters how their investment drives cultural and economic value. Strengthen your briefs and proposals when meeting with investors, elected officials, and policymakers. Build partnerships and connections by showing how your programming increases foot traffic, supports hospitality, or contributes to community vitality. Inform your planning by getting an understanding of which of your programs generate the strongest returns and grounding your plans in evidence. And finally, you can use the report to promote the impact of the arts ecosystem collectively across communities and regions by combining your TREIM insights with those of peer organizations. In the Ontario Arts Operating Fund application, you'll find a tab that says TREIM Report. This tab provides all the instructions you need to access the TREIM website, input the required information, and generate the report. Let's go through that process now. Before you begin, you will need to confirm 2 figures from the last completed fiscal year. If you're applying in 2026, you'll need the information for the last fiscal year ending in 2025. The total revenue of your organization, which is the same number that you'll put into your CADAC financial form at line 4700. The total number of positions at your organization, full-time equivalent, seasonal, and part-time. Do not include any volunteer or unpaid positions. Next, you'll click on the link to go to the Tourism Regional Economic Impact Model website. So here we have the homepage for the Tourism Regional Economic Impact Model website. Click on the button that says Use TREIM. The next page will ask you to review and accept the terms and conditions. To proceed, click I accept. Select Operational Expenses. On the Operational Expenses page, select Only total operational expenses are known. For the purposes of your application, we will not need the detailed operational expenses. We now have access to TREIM. Add a report title in the first field at the top. In 2026, we recommend using your organization name followed by the year 2024, which I'll explain in a moment. Use the default geographical area of Ontario. For activity takes place in this year, the default is 2026, but we want to change that to 2024. Although organizations will use revenue and job numbers for the fiscal year ending in 2025, we will be using TREIM data from 2024. This is to account for organizations whose fiscal years have more months in the previous calendar year. For example, April 2024 to March 2025. Leave the household spending as yes, leave business investment as yes, and leave property tax as yes. Then select Next Screen. The next screen is where you'll put your organization-specific data. For total revenue dollars from operations, enter the total revenue of your organization for your last completed fiscal year. And again, if you're completing this application in 2026, you'll want to use the last completed fiscal year ending in 2025. Under Type of Tourism Facility/Operation, select Arts, Entertainment, and Recreation from the drop-down menu. For number of jobs, enter the total number of positions at your organization for your last completed fiscal year. This includes full-time equivalent, seasonal, and part-time positions. Once that's done, click on Next Screen. You're now ready to generate your TREIM report. Click Submit for Calculation. A pop-up box will appear to tell you not to close any windows while the report is being generated. Click OK. And then once the report has been generated, you'll see a status and report screen and a link that says click here to download. Click the link to access your report. Once you've downloaded your organization's TREIM report, open the document and go to Table 1. Find the figures for total GDP and total provincial taxes. You're then going to add these numbers to NOVA. Add the figures for total GDP and total provincial taxes right into your application. Then use the Upload button to add your TREIM report into NOVA. And that's it! Once you've added those numbers to the two boxes and uploaded your report, you're done. Be sure to save your draft before continuing to the next section of your application. We hope this has been a helpful overview on how to use TREIM to complete your Ontario Arts Operating Fund application. To learn more about the program, visit arts.on.ca or send your questions to us by email at questions@arts.on.ca. Thanks for watching.